with one of the great rock and roll disc jockeys of all time, mouth breather Scott Muni. WNE WFM 102 point whatever. Scotzo.
That was Count 5 with Psychotic Reaction. Tasty little tidbit which rounds out our mental illness theme set. Started off with John Lennon's Mind Games, followed by Let's Go Crazy from the artist formerly known as Prince, from what was formerly known as his career. Haven't heard much from the Purple One since he decided to go with that unpronounceable symbol that looks like a hood ornament. Now, if we could only get you to change your name, Dono, to a $sign with an ampersand and question mark drawn through it, the pant load formerly known as Imus. Sitting here before, thinking about February sweeps and how between the O.J. trial and Clinton this year, it feels like life has been a sweeps period. Now we got controversy over the president's choice for Surgeon General. Don't understand all the flack about the abortions. I mean, if you're going to be Surgeon General, you should have, at one time, actually done some surgery. I tell you, I'm not surprised Clinton's tapping an OB-GYN for the job. Seems like the natural progression from Aunt Esther giving out the rubbers. Certainly goes hand in hand with the new revelations in that biography by the dude from the Post. Bubba going over his swindler's list with his gubernatorial aide, Betsy Wright. Kind of like a kid sorting through his buddy's baseball card collection. Need 'em, got 'em, need 'em. Except with Clinton, it was more like did her, done her, did her twice. But you just gotta love a guy who sings his baby daughter to sleep with Tammy Wynette's DIVORCE as a lullaby, don't you? According to this book, the marital spats at the governor's mansion were so nasty, the service staff used to hide. I don't know about you, but I think it's comforting to know that the Clintons would be more at home in a trailer park than they are at the White House. Why do we expect our leaders to be sacrosanct, inviolable characters when they should be representative of the people they lead?
Yeah.
That's why the royal family is a bunch of socially constipated, pale pantloads with bad teeth. So Clinton hates his wife and humps everything that moves. I feel much more at ease with that picture in my head than the one of George Bush bouncing on a bed with Babs. In other countries, government officials attend state dinners with their wives on one arm and their mistresses on the other. So Bubba needs a computer database to keep track of all the bimbos he's boinked. Don't do something unless you're gonna be the best. He shouldn't around unless he's gonna be first in his class. Or at least magna cum laude.
Here now some late headline stories we're tracking in the Imus and Washington Network News Nerve Center.
I'm your host, David Brinkley, joined as always by, well, others. Who cares, really? First, here in Washington, fallout continues from the Million Man March. President Clinton, who aroused his critics by refusing to invoke the name Louis Farrakhan during a speech on racial issues the other day, continues to straddle the matter. He met with reporters a short time ago regarding doubts about the accuracy of the National Park Service's Million Man March crowd estimate that may become the basis of a suit by Farrakhan, and our microphones were there.
Hey, baby, you want to go out?
No, not right now, baby. As you all know, the park police say there was 400,000 truly awe-inspiring African fellows there. And their leader, a minister strapping fellow with the glasses and the short haircut, thinks there were more. Let me not equivocate so there can be no misinterpretation. The park police say one thing, and Minister handsome, broad-shouldered fellow with a nice suit and bow tie says something else. As your president, I say without fear of contradiction that one of them is right. And it's a truly beautiful and deeply moving thing. Makes me want to go out and name a commission about something or other. Or send 20,000 fine young Americans of all colors to Bosnia. Only sorry I myself won't be able to go. Thank you.
Daddy.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you look so good.
Hey, baby, hold this for me, will you? Meantime, Louis Farrakhan has amplified his charge that the government's crowd estimate was understated. He addressed a group of Nation of Islam followers a short time ago.
Are you with me?
Assalamu alaikum.
All right. If you take the second letter of our alphabet system, you get the letter B, right?
Right.
If you add on to that the 21st letter and then the 12th letter 2 times, you get the name of the zodiac figure Taurus, correct?
Yeah.
And what is that? That figure is the B-U-L-L. Now then, what kind of bull? A full bull. What do a full bull do?
We don't know.
Stay with me now. Take the 19th letter of the alphabet S and add right behind it the a single syllable word that represents the goal of a baseball batter. Hit. And you come up with the National Park Service's Mr. Whitey, racist, blood-sucking, hunky, hold the black man down crowd estimate. And homie, don't play that. Did he spell bullshit?
Meantime, urgent moves are underway to obtain emergency enrollment status for Minister Farrakhan in a Hooked on Phonics program, an English as first language course, along with the books Lexicographers Are Us and How to Argue and Win Every Time by Jerry Spence. And finally...
Excuse me, sorry to break in, but we have a late-breaking item. This just in, author and journalist Nicholas Pileggi announced moments ago that he has read portions of a newspaper. Details are sketchy at this point, but please stay tuned for any updates. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Personally, I don't believe it. Anyway, once again, our final item today. Members of the Log Cabin Republicans, the gay GOP political action group, if that's not an oxymoron, say they are pleased that Senator Robert Dole has changed his mind about accepting their campaign contribution after he'd earlier refused a check from Log Cabin in the amount of $1,000. We asked a Log Cabin spokesperson what initially drew them to the majority leader.
Really? Are you kidding? When they ran that picture of Bob on his treadmill, wearing shorts and that loose top, my lever was pulled. I mean, if we'd been vacillating before, well, it was pile-on time. We just sat down and wrote 1000 on a check so fast we positively got dizzy. Fellas, he's accepted our money. What does Log Cabin have to say? Everybody. We drop for Bob.
Yes.
We drop for Bob. We drop for Bob.
We drop for
All right, here now on the Imus in the Morning program, Rush Limbaugh. Good morning, Rush.
My friends, mega deliberating dittos to all my homies in the hood. All eyes are upon those select sequestered citizens charged with the task of passing judgment upon one of the greatest running backs the world has ever known. And considering the racial makeup of the jury, the smart money is on O.J. coming out of the huddle scoring a TD. According to the latest ABC News poll, 77% of whites surveyed think he's guilty, yet 72% of blacks think he's innocent. Wow, what a news flash. They really blew the roof off that story. Talk about your cutting-edge journalism. You just can't put nothing past that pasty info babe Diane Sawyer. I'm surprised current events ostrich Peter Jennings was finally able to pull his head out from under the penumbra of Barbara Streisand's beak long enough to report this startling tidbit. This has been a case about race since day one, even before the murders themselves. This all began when O.J. married a white woman. Oh, that reminds me. Came up with a cute one last night after a few brandies and cigars with the boys. What's the difference between a black woman and Mark Furman? Furman can get O.J. off. I'm sure that little remark will end up being reviled by those politically correct pansies who have appointed themselves the guardians of good taste. If you didn't think that joke was funny, well, you might be a liberal, which coincidentally is the title of my next book. A little throwaway trade paperback, but in light of the enormous success this genre of publication afforded redneck comic Jeff Foxworthy, I'm jumping on the joke book bandwagon. Here are the few I've come up with so far. If you wrestle with your conscience less than you do with your secretary, you might be a liberal. If your position on federal aid for unwed teenage mothers is based upon your hand in increasing their numbers, you might be a liberal. If a homeless person cuts himself and your heart bleeds more than he does, you might be a liberal. If the only Caucasian face on your domestic staff is the lawn jockey in your front yard, you might be a liberal. If you eschew the KKK in favor of the ERA, you might be a LIBERAL, MORE after THIS. See the way he's so indiscreet, winking at each woman he meets. How he holds his head up high when he's got such a roving eye. He's not shy. You'd consider adultery if you'd married Miss Hillary. The cheating's not his only flaw. There are about 1 million more, but the worst by far, I'd say. He's a liberal and he'll never ever be any good. He's a liberal who just can't control his throbbing wood, and just because he doesn't do what right-thinking men do, that's the reason why our country's going down the drain. He's got no integrity, White House a catastrophe, cause Bubba's a liberal, do-do-do, Bubba's a liberal, do-do, don't you see? that Arkansas poultry king Tyson has just introduced a new line of Hillary Clinton chickens. No breasts, larger thighs, and it's packaged with a turkey. Liberals want to make us pay while they all give the world away, and Bubba's got his pants round his knees. They're knocking. He's a liberal and he's never ever been any good. He's a liberal and he claims that he's misunderstood, and just because he doesn't do what right-thinking men do, that's the reason why I'll sock it in on Robert Dole, impeach Bill and Hillary, this time vote the GOP, cause Bubba's a liberal do-do-do, Bubba's a liberal do-do-do, don't you see? Yes, my friends, this is Rush Limbaugh reminding you that Bubba is nothing but a dirty, no-good, low-down, rotten, stinking liberal. Bubba's a liberal, not for me.
We've had Senator John McCain on our program a number of times, and I forget which issue it was, but something came up, and so we thought we'd call Senator McCain, and he was gracious enough to agree to appear.
Thanks, Don. And one of the nice things about being here is to put faces to names. I listen to you, obviously, all the time in Washington, and to see Bernard, who's not nearly as ugly as he sounds.
Your radio sounds fun in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
By the way, the woman, McCoy Ross, wants to run against Alphonse.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to start her car in the morning.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Well, it promises to be the... Why am I snapping? I have to take my gum out of my mouth every time I want to talk, which is an attractive trait, I know, but...
You're very good at it, though. You have it down to a science where you slip it right out and slime it right back in. You know?
Like Steve. You know, Bernie, I was going to let that pass.
Not me, though.
Of course, like, I don't even get what I'm saying. Because I'm innocent and
Well,
I'm
no, but I mean, that's
not a
disgraceful.
downright pig.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Your wife must not be up yet, huh, Bernie?
Yeah.
Well, she's up, but as you know, the sound of the vacuum cleaner better be drowning out the sound of the radio.
All right, okay.
Gotta vacuum up all that hair that fell out of your head.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
The internet is rap.
And Highway Patrol.
Imus in the morning. 2020 sports.
Down low, McCrimmon, bad pass stolen by Johnson. Here's Johnson ahead to Allen, who catches it and lays it in. Almost deflected away by Billett. 11 for Allen. Huskies got another run.
UConn wins their 20th of the year. Good morning, Mike Breen with sports. Joe D'Ambrosio, the call of the Huskies' victory. Fourth-ranked UConn winning their 19th straight, beating Rutgers in New Jersey 77-59. Do you have any clothes that somebody hasn't given you? No. I have an Iona College sweatshirt on this morning. Gals have won 8 in a row. Got to get behind that team. Oh, okay. Fordham's lost about 13 in a row, so you stopped worrying for it. Didn't you go to Fordham? Yes, I did. I graduated from there. I got a degree. In what? Communications. You have a degree in communications? Yeah. Well, all right. Well, congratulations. Dr. Breen. Coach Jim Calhoun of the Huskies letting his emotions flow after the victory.
I'm very proud of these kids. I love them as much now, if not more so than before the game.
Certainly. Of course, they won. Sure. Keeps his salary going up the more they win. Yeah. UConn now 20-1. Also in college basketball, one of the most exciting games of the night took place at Madison Square Garden, but not in the feature matchup of Notre Dame and St. John's, but in the first game, where Yeshiva nipped Maritime 59-55.
Oi.
Yeshiva hitting big shots down the stretch to take the win.
Yehuda, top of the key, Yehuda. Maraca, pick and roll, Maraca. You jack off the bench.
From the NBA, they're playing those big overcoats.
And those hats.
From the NBA, tough night for our Portland Trailblazers. Senior Tom Hartman here. You guys did an interview with Jeff Greenfield.
So we were discussing Halloween.
Is Halloween Satanist?
And you showed up in a...
I showed up in a pumpkin head.
And what did you wear, Father Tom?
A black mask.
That wouldn't be the first time, now, would it, Father
It was a
Tom?
leather.
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
And I said, look, I don't do intermarriages, and I don't think it would be appropriate for me to marry a Christian and a Jew in a movie if I don't do it in my life. And they said, that's too bad, Rabbi, because there's high billing for this. There's a lot of money, and there's also probably a nude scene with the rabbi and this voluptuous babe. So I said, oh, you want Rabbi Gelman? I'll get him. Just a minute.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Highway Patrol.
It's time now for John Cardinal O'Connor over from the Archdiocese with the
left this cup here.
New York lotto numbers. Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, God bless. Belated happy birthday, Imus Lamar.
Pardon me?
Belated happy birthday, Imus Lamar.
Thank you very much.
At long last, your age matches your IQ. You have fungus-ridden sleazeball, you be Jesus.
That will be fine.
I saw you walking around the radio station in that cool cowboy hat, Imus Lamar. I thought it was Buddy Epson looking for his teeth. You silly old lizard, you. Hey, man, draw. The winning numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
What are they?
Let me ask you this, Mr. Lamar.
What are the numbers?
Why does an old junkie, an intellectual bimbo like yourself, insist on trying to match wits with the likes of Cokie Roberts and Andy Rooney, be Jesus?
I don't know.
Sounds like Meet the Putz. Give it up. It's unfortunate you didn't pass away in rehab, Mr. Marl. I tell you that.
Oh, man.
The only difference between you and Jerry Garcia is that everyone associates the I-Man with keep on sucking, be Jesus. You look like you were sticking needles in your face. I tell you that. The daily number.
The Cardinal? God.
The daily number.
What are they?
250.
All right, 250.
Speaking of bimbos, Mr. Lamar.
Yeah?
What's the difference between hockey star Wayne Gretzky and
right.
singing pig Courtney Love?
well, I'm afraid to ask, but...
Wayne Gretzky showers after 3 periods, be Jesus. Filthy skank.
Oh, come on, Jesus, God!
Having sex with the likes of a Courtney Love or a Madonna would probably be like Bob Costas putting on one of Shaquille O'Neal's sneakers, if you know what I mean, be Jesus.
That will be fine.
I bet me Courtney Love's backside smells like one of O'Neal's dirty sweat socks, because he's think you're sick. I tell you that, come on. The win 4 number.
Jesus, God,
4316.
why do we have this?
Let me just say this about that Jewish cabal of Eisner, Katzenberg, Spielberg, and Geffen, be Jesus.
Yes.
All now in some way involved with programming on the ABC network. Bloody joke, be Jesus.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff, the kind of shows you can expect, Mr. Lamar.
Okay, here we go.
All my shekels, be Jesus. Matzah, she wrote. Moisey Brown. Bridget Sue's Bernie. Mad about Yehuda. The Wild Wild West Bank, be Jesus. Dennis the Mensch. I dream of Jerusalem and Israel's most wanted. I tell you what, Mr. Lamar, rump wrangler David Geffen will poison your kids' minds with stuff like homo improvement and happy gays, be Jesus.
That'll be fine.
The kids in the hall go to Greece or some damn thing. See cartoon characters like Jiminy Crickstein and Winnie the Jew. Of course, Porky Pig will never see the light of day. The part of the time. Stupid TV movies like 3 Weddings and a Bar Mitzvah.
That'll be fine.
Miracle on 47th Street. Like a filter fish named Wanda Schwartz or some damn thing. Be Jesus. Hopefully, though, Mr. Lamar, these big-leaping thieves will be wise enough to cut Peter Jennings loose from ABC News.
Yeah.
And throw him away like an old foreskin, be Jesus, after that disgraceful special on atomic missiles.
That will be fine.
Hey, Peter, I've got a missile right here. It'll explode your mouth, you schmuck, you.
Then Cardinal O'Connor,
Wait a
where is this anger coming from?
The pigtail numbers is as follows.
Oh, good. Let's get to those.
We're going for the folks in San Jose, Mr. Lamar.
Where are the numbers?
What do a cue ball and a Hispanic have in common?
I don't know.
The harder you hit them, the more English you get out of them, Jesus. God bless Proposition 187, Mr. Lamar.
That'll be enough.
The win 4 numbers.
Yeah.
Wait.
How about the pick 10?
Well, the pick 10 numbers, Mr. Lamar.
Yeah.
Did you hear Johnny Cochran traded in his Cadillac, Mr. Lamar?
No.
He now drives a nice Studio, be Jesus.
Yeah.
The pick 10 numbers.
I get it.
3, 5, 7, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20, 28, 31, 37, 39, 49, 56, 57, 65, 67, 70, 72, 76.
Sounds like the Cardinal got a hold of Don Cricky's joke book, doesn't it?
Which doesn't belong in why?
Oh, okay, I like this part. Which doesn't belong in why?
Which doesn't belong in why? A. Columnist Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
B. Columnist Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
C. Columnist Liz Smith. Which doesn't belong in Y.
Well, I mean, don't go. Let's just not go here.
Which doesn't belong in Y, you dirtbag, you.
I would say Liz Smith.
Wrong, you two-legged bag of push, you be Jesus. Well, all three journalists are known for goofy-looking glasses.
Yeah.
And goofy-looking overbites.
Yeah.
And would mercifully never wear a miniskirt.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton doesn't belong because, unlike the other two, Hillary's reason for not wearing a mini is that her testicles hang down too low to Jesus.
Oh, geez, I mean, we were fine up to that point.
I don't care if it rains or freezes as long as the Iron Man dies, be Jesus. Move along, you dirtbag, you.
Cardinal O'Connor here on the Imus in the Morning program is 21. That'll be fine. It's what's the matter?
Nothing.
I know.
Nothing.
Well, we just take it down to this level. So there's no reason to put that on the air. What are we thinking about?
I don't know.
And, I'm shocked at the number of reasonable people, and people of you would think of better taste.
Yes.
Who actually like that.
I know.
It's just disgraceful. Well, so I've got a number of things to be torqued off about this morning, and one of them is... How you doing?
I'm doing all right, but I think you should be a little nicer to that Brain guy.
Well, I'm fine with Brain.
I think he's great. I think he's the best part of the show.
Well, I think he's a very important element.
And enough with these politicians. I mean, give me a break, man.
Yeah?
Although I gotta admit that Anna Quinlan, she's a scream.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
If you gave that stupid phone number for your brother 2 or 3 times less an hour, maybe Brain could get more time.
Brain?
You know what I'm saying, man?
Brain?
Yeah.
This is not working. This is pathetic.
What do you mean?
This is like Rob trying to get a plug for one of his gigs.
I'm Bill from White Plains.
Yeah, I know.
Imus in the morning.
Pathetic.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
So, special return for a special player. Good morning, Mike Brain with Sports. Magic nearly had a triple-double in just 27 minutes of action.
Of course, everybody get out of his way.
I mean, who's going to guard him? Come on.
Hey, Magic, right over there. There you go.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Islanders beat Buffalo in overtime, and the New Jersey Devils, led by head coach Jacques Lemaire.
Monsieur. Nobody with the HIV on my ass.
That'll be fine.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Alligators, beetle boots, bro.
Then they had to chase them all day. Coming back.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
On 535.
Here now, live El Paso with my brother Fred. Morning, Fred.
Can Ted Kennedy get any fatter?
Well, his head's the size of Rhode Island.
You know, when his body moves, it moves in sections.
Yeah.
Eileen's baby's going to be a Capricorn?
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be a horny little baby.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
You're almost marrying a baby.
She's an older woman.
No, she's not. If she's older than 22, then I'm a black astronaut.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
All right, here now on the Imus in the Morning program from Washington, D.C.
Used to beat me up again. Give me some more money.
All right, here now, Imus in Washington, senior military affairs analyst, the late General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease, as you were. Welcome, people, to this morning's seminar entitled Nagasaki Souvlaki. Now then, as with the Hiroshima event, a great deal has been written on this subject. Most of it jelly nerve nonsense. Please indulge a few more thoughts on the matter from an old soldier. An individual who actually saw a little combat, by the way, unlike 99% of these sanctimonious, tight-assed, hand-wringing, hindsight historians who view our nation's war deeds through a pair of pink lace panties. Listen up, you squirrel-sucking simps, and learn something. Private, nuke those lights. Nice drop, soldier. Now fire up the overhead. Give me slide 1. This, people, is Hideki Tojo, dictator, Japan, now deceased because we hanged the son of a bitch. Next slide. This little beauty, as you now know, was our ticket into the nuclear age, lads. Little boy, just 10 feet long, and, well, you people all know the tune. Let's sing her together. Just 10 feet long and impromptu, but oh, what those 10 feet could do. Has anybody seen my head? That's right, boys. 10 feet long, 26 inches in diameter, but yikes, what a bang. Anyway, you deposit the little bugger on Tojo here, and you make essentially an egg roll. And in the process, revisionist soreheads, you save, yes, actually save tens of thousands of lives. Once you sort everything out, likely including the lives of your own old man, you ingrates, so that he could produce you, so that you could criticize him. Now, speaking of hectoring hindsight sermonizers, where was I when America elected ABC's Peter Jennings to the office of moral conscience of the country? Where does it say sponge-spined, lecherous Canadian immigrant passes judgment on American policies? Shut up! Peter Jennings doesn't think it was necessary to A-bomb the Japs? Well, I nearly agree, because it's clear to me that we also should have let a couple of them pop over Ottawa about 50 years ago. All right, let's conclude. Enough of these spud-fart revisionists muddying our historical waters, people. Here's your bottom line. War is hell. Japan started it. We finished it. And back when you could name your aircraft Enola Gay without having Bill Clinton and the ACLU file some sob-sister suit over it. Despite the current interim occupant of the White House, the message of August 45 remains clear. This is still the U.S. of A., adversaries. You started, we'll end it. And if necessary, with a nice hot serving of mushroom soup. Thank you for your attention. That is all.
Tell me over and over and over again, my friend, how you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Imus in the morning.
The new win.
I'm Imus in Washington, Senior Military Affairs Advisor, the late General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease. As you people have been informed, this is an emergency briefing of the most extreme urgency. A recent radio broadcast widely received in our country has convinced national security analysts at the highest levels that we are under an insidious and broad-based psychological warfare assault. The clear intent? To cause clinical depression in the population at large, leading to mass suicide. The latest attack is the most blatant example yet available. It targeted 55 cities and towns the length and breadth of the nation. We have identified the figures behind this conspiracy. Private, kill those lights. Fire up the overhead projector and give me slides A through D. Take a good look, people. These are your conspirators. This innocuous, seemingly non-threatening party is Mike Stoller. And this, the individual who very cleverly appears to be just out of it, is his associate, Jerry Lieber, a.k.a. John Doe's 1 and 2. 45-year cover career as songwriters. Cover now blown, exposing them as cold-blooded psychological assassins. They are working in concert with this individual, Calvin, the essayist Trillin. Writer, molder of opinion, very glib, very bright, very deadly. Totally lacking compassion. We believe that all three are being run by this man. At ease. Yes, the host of this very broadcast, John Donald Imus, a.k.a. I-Man the Jackal. How do we know these individuals are involved in a cabal to cause our country to kill itself? Did you hear the program this week in which all four participated? Lieber and Stoller live in the studio, followed by Trillin on the f***ing telephone. And Bob Dole is bitching about 9-inch nails and the Ghetto Boys. Their threat is subjective. This is a Jim Jones Minute, the Kool-Aid Kids. This is Take the A Train with Shoko Asahara. And don't say we didn't try to warn the latest target zones. San Jose, Santa Barbara, Tulsa, Bakersfield, Las Vegas, Little Rock, Norfolk, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the rest. God knows we sent up catastrophe flares. But did you people listen while there was still time to rally your communities? No. Result? you're locked down, tied up by long-term contractual agreements which guarantee you'll continue to be subjected to this until your audiences are standing in line for lethal injections like they were waiting to get their cholesterol screened. In fact, the only threat that is as clearly aimed at emulsifying the country's intellect that may be more dangerous is the Larry King Show's 10th anniversary self-congratulation series, especially another installment with either Bill Clinton and Al Gore or Barbara Streisand as guests. Jesus, pin a red ribbon on my Save the Giant Panda t-shirt. And before they strip me entirely of my right to my AR-16, let me get the barrel beneath my chin and my toe on the trigger in full auto mode. Because believe me, people, I don't want to live. And I don't want to miss. Thank you for your attention. That is all.
Then here he is now, Calvin Trillin. Good morning, Mr. Trillin.
Good morning.
Would you mind? We wondered if you would tell us the tic-tac-toe chicken story.
When an out-of-town visitor comes to New York, I usually take them downtown in Chinatown to play tic-tac-toe against a live chicken. I have found that when I take people down there, almost all of them look over the situation and they say the same thing. Well, the chicken gets to go first. And I say, yes, but he's a chicken.
Yeah.
You're a human being. Surely there should be some advantage.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
And then a lot of them say, the chicken plays every day. I haven't played for years.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
You say you're...
I'm Mike Breen. All right, here now with comment and observation on headline issues of the day. Live Mr. Washington senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
I didn't do it. It was not me. I did not do it.
Are we
I
still,
was in the morning.
No, we're still talking about breaking into the Watergate Hotel.
No, we're talking about writing primary colors.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't me, Dono. Ye gods, I'm about the only guy who this dribble hasn't been pinned on. And I suspect only because I'm dead.
Yeah.
The Ramona Clef of the 92 Clinton campaign, in which Bubbers revealed to be, everything we've come to know and love him for. A hard-driving, bimbo-thriving, records-sanitizing, vacillating, oscillating oaf. Despite all that, J.D., the real book on Bubber is that he's in again. Dole, Graham, Forbes, Buchanan, all the rest notwithstanding.
Yeah.
They're just not going to make it, in my humble estimation. And as you know, I'm a political animal, Dono, a student of the science. By the way, before we get totally off the subject here, I have studied primary colors very carefully, and I've come to a conclusion regarding the author. Based on my analysis, you want to know who wrote it?
Yes.
Nora Hayden, that strawberry tress trollop whose previous work is the Bible of the Clinton administration to this very day, carried by the president wherever he goes. How to satisfy a woman every time and have her beg for more. Exactly. Dribble in, dribble out, they say. Time, by the way, to place Steve Forbes under the Dickscope, J.D., with his profile looming larger every day, as you know, possibly even surpassing my old comrade Bob Dole in New Hampshire. Very, very wealthy individual, Nano, and by his own admission, a bit eccentric in some respects. Although he's acquitted himself well in various interview situations I've seen him in. But you know what concerns me? No. Postal clerk eyes, Dono. Believe me, it's just a matter of time before Steve Forbes comes rolling down the street in a tank, sponsors a volleyball team, and announces that he and Greg Louganis have just exchanged matching gerbils.
Shut up.
Trust me, the guy's a Megan's Law candidate in waiting. Scary, you know? Oh, and my old colleague, Pat Buchanan. He won a straw poll in Alaska the other day.
Right.
Who cares? It's Alaska. What do they have? 3,800 people who file down their teeth and chew elk antlers? Not exactly your make 'em or break 'em electoral college location, huh? Wake up, Pat. It's over. Jeez. Oh, and a message lost, it appears, I do, on a certain high-profile sports figure, Magic Johnson. Back with the Lakers. Quite a story. I saw his debut. Interesting fan response. Every time he came close to the sideline, the entire front row reacted like they were at a Gallagher concert. Tell me, are there any lepers playing this year? You know, if only Magic could have the benefit of this latest AIDS prevention research about whey, the dairy derivative blocking the AIDS virus. Yeah. Has the president been told about that? Because if he hears about it, given his history, the next thing they'll discover in the book room will be Bill Clinton sitting in there with his pecker buried in a pint of Ben & Jerry's. Ouch! A brief, no-holds-barred look through the Dickscope, man. A Dick's Fix by Dick Nixon, of course, himself a dead former president of the United States.
There is a place where you can go, where Marilyn's still dancing with DiMaggio.
Henrik on first base. Nobody is out. DiMaggio up. Score 4-3 New York. DiMaggio batting right-handed, one hit and 3 times up. The pitch, hitting straight away, a long, high fly ball going far out into left field. The ball is over the fence for a home run. A tremendous smash.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. Imus in the morning.
You know now. D'Amato.
Hi, big guy. How you doing?
Don't hype big guy me, Senator. Still think Les Athen ought to resign?
Oh, you know, he said that when questions that Senator D'Amato asked for your resignation, he said, well, that's politics. He's the political prostitute in the situation, and he should be thrown right out on his ass. Well, I mean, and then he said, oh, well, I got paid to make that decision, and had I known what would have happened. Well, you jackass. What do you think they asked you for 4 tanks for?
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning. So, what are you going to do with $1 million you raised, by the way?
Well, we'll go out for dinner, and we set up a needy Italian family fund. Sometime we have to take care of our old age. Prudent planning, you know.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Patrol.
And now here on the Imus in the Morning program, over from the Archdiocese, His Eminence, John Cardinal O'Connor,
Stupid earring in your... Get it out there, you.
with the New York Lotto numbers. Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, God, lass. Been a long time, I missed the mark.
Yes, it has.
Not long enough, you cradle-robbing cadaver, you be Jesus.
That will be fine.
The winning numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
That's why you're here, to report those, and that's it.
So how are things going for the I-Man here on Meet the Putz?
Where are the numbers?
Taking a little heat from the big lead media for being the low-rent social retard that you are, I missed the
Well,
mark.
yes, a little.
Enough of the bull shenanigans. I'll tell you what's really offensive.
What?
Really offensive is listening to the likes of Nina Totenberg,
Well,
the beast of the Beltway.
leave her alone.
Yak on about this or that. Ad nauseum, be Jesus. What's vulgar is the sound of your cocaine-damaged nostrils wheezing in the background, I tell you that. What's obscene is your salary, you pigeon-chested pedophile, you.
Pigeon-chested
The
pedophile.
daily number.
Well, what are they?
109.
All right, 109.
Speaking of bad taste, I miss Lamar.
Yes.
I think it was NBC. Had the big movie of the week Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
About a woman with breast cancer, be Jesus.
Well, now, I hope we're not going to take this where I think we're going to take it.
They actually call it My Breast.
Yes.
I guess we're lucky she didn't have rectum cancer, be Jesus.
Now, you know, that's not necessary.
My arse on TV, I tell you.
Cardinal O'Connor,
Can't wait for the movie about prostate cancer.
that will be
My
fine.
wiener, be Jesus. Make you sick.
Didn't I ask you about this?
Let me ask you this, I miss Lamar.
What?
What do you get when you cross a crooked politician with a crooked lawyer?
I don't know.
Chelsea Clinton, PGs, I'll tell you that. The win-for number.
I like
phone
that.
number.
Oh, that's a great one.
0928.
What was that again? That was good.
Miracle, you dumb bastard, you.
That will be fine. We don't need to resort to vulgarity here.
All right, boys and girls. The Cardinal will come up with a little springtime limerick for you out there.
Oh, good. I like the springtime limericks.
Gather around the radio, boys and
All
girls.
right, we're all gathered around.
We'll call it Hope and Despair.
Hope and despair.
Ah, yes, Clinton's in trouble. As we-
Well, Cardinal, we've talked about this for 5 years. We have to talk a little louder.
A little disappointed, I, Mr. Mark.
What?
I thought by now you'd be dead, be Jesus.
Well, let's just do our little limerick.
Ah, yes, Clinton's in trouble as we approach the summer. But the I-Man's alive, and that's a bummer. Paula Sue's bill says she knows what's in his shorts. But what if the evidence won't stand up in the court?
Well, fine.
The I-Man to marry before much time elapses. Let's switch on his big day that the good lung collapses. Bubba's BJ from PJ in exchange for a job. Hey, what's D.D. Myers done for this slob?
That'll be fine.
So there's hope in the air. Do not despair. Al Gore in 94. No more eye jive in 95.
That was it?
You went for the picture.
Well, that was really pretty weak at the end there, Cardinal.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Mark.
Yeah.
What do you get when you turn a blonde upside down, be Jesus?
I don't want to know.
A brunette with bad breath, I tell you that.
God.
The win phone number. The picture numbers is as follows.
I asked you
7,
about...
10, 16, 17, 23, 24, 27, 34, 35, 38, 44, 47, 52, 53, 64, 65, 68, 70, 77, 79. The big jackpot this Wednesday night, hey, Mr. Mark.
What is it?
Be a few $1 million it will.
Well, how many million?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BGs. We can't tell right now, Mr. Lamar.
Okay.
Which
fine.
does them belong and why?
All right, which does them belong and why?
Which does them belong and why?
Okay.
A. Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
B. Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein.
C. Mr. Lamar. Which does them belong and why?
Well, obviously, Calvin Klein. Yeah.
Wrong, you two-legged bag of puss, you.
Oh, come on.
Well, all three of these horny deviants are noted for suavely dropping their trousers in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
The answer is A. Bill Clinton doesn't belong because unlike the other two, Bill Clinton doesn't bend over after dropping his drawers.
That will be fine.
You move along. Go on ahead now.
John Cardinal O'Connor here on the Imus in the Morning program, and
Take that earring off, you little...
that's why he's not on very often. Lenny Bruce as
To assert political relevance, the billionaire industrialist and issues gadfly, H. Ross Perot.
Desperate as a dog with his pecker in a granny knot when there's a poodle wanting a noodle right next door, Amos. And you know why? One word, Steve Forbes. I'm being marginalized by a fella who looks like he'd pull over to the curb and offer your 4-year-old a Mars bar. And I don't like it. Did you see him on Larry King the other night? He's programmed tighter than a Hillary Clinton news conference. And there's some polling out there that shows him ahead of Bob Dole in New Hampshire. It's just sad. Hopeless but reckless people out there lapping up this feel-good flat tax scam out of a guy whose old man gave him a fortune founded on an elitist rag that's read by 500 blowhards smoking power stogies, flicking the ashes out the window on homeless people. Why won't he release his tax records, Amos? Answer me. I'll tell you why. Because he's probably loopholed and limited partnered and Bahamas bank accounted himself to a point that makes the BCI Manuel Noriega CIA connection look like a Christmas Club layaway plan. And Forbes has got those 7 people in Dixville Notch actually sold on him being a Washington outsider. He's got $400 million, Amos. You know how you get $400 million? By making damn sure 20% of it goes every year into every pocket of every damn person who's even in the zip code of the Capitol building. Pay to play, Amos. Pay to play. How do I know? I read it in primary colors. Anyway, got under Forbes' hood the other day, Bentley, pulled up his dipstick, sniffed his oil. You know what I found? Mechanic under there with his diagnosis plug planted squarely in Steve Forbes' butt. Ain't robotics amazing? I guarantee you that under those geek suits he wears, there's an access panel that says 4 D cells required. In fact, he even looks like those Duracell figures on TV. You know that computer-generated family you wish would fall into their damn barbecue? If we're all lucky, Amos, the son of a bitch will shoot a wrestler and we'll be done with it. I'm sorry to be so harsh, but you're sick of him, I'm sick of him, and the only thing he really has a chance of being the president of is the membership committee of his Lily White Country Club. It's just that simple. Final thought about Bob Dole. Here he is, 72 years old, trying to recover from that speech the other night where he looked like an accident in the embalming parlor. And what do they have him do? Hold up a bottle of suds called Old Man Beer. What's next week? Have him drinking out of a bottle of Old Granddad? Hell, Bagala ain't teaching in Texas, Amos. He's running the Dole campaign. Here's your soundbite. If you don't like Forbes or Dole, instead of waiting on the next one, why not sock it in on the jug-eared Texan? That'd be me, Amos, and much obliged for having me on your show. Hey, Bubba, what's that you're reading?
Primary Colors, Beavis. It's a fictional account of my 92 campaign.
Who's it by?
Anonymous?
Who's he? Some Greek guy?
No, Beavis. Anonymous means the author didn't put his name on it.
How come? Does it suck?
No, that's the problem. It's pretty accurate. This has to be an inside job.
So, who do you think wrote it? Hillary?
Yeah, it's too well written. Didn't you read It Takes a Village?
James Carville?
Nah, there's no sheep in it.
Stephanopoulos?
Nope, no gerbils.
Newt Gingrich?
I told you there's no sheep in it. Pigs either, by the way.
So, who do you think wrote it, Bubba?
Somebody who had access to the innermost workings of my campaign, Beavis, who had entree to the most private of places, who's seen me as I am, vulnerable and naked.
I got it. Paula Corbin Jones.
I sure could write a book about her.
Or at least a penthouse letter.
Go, baby.
This land's not your land, this land is my land, 'cause you weren't born a true blue American. I'm an ethnic purist who protects his borders. This land belongs to only me.
This land is my land. It isn't your land. It's not Jamaica, Haiti, or Pakistan. I suggest you all go home to your motherland. 'Cause this land belongs to only me. As I was walking down by unemployment, heard towel heads talking of overthrowing our government. I'm declaring open season on all illegal immigrants, 'cause this land's overrun by refugees. This land's not your land, this land is my land, 'cause you weren't born a true blue American. I'm an ethnic purist who protects his borders. This land outed feminazis and wetbacks. It's getting crowded. Too many Negroes on welfare. Bubba doesn't think about it. But this land's being hosed by Hillary. As I went walking, I saw signs in Spanish. Why can't they learn English? I wish they'd vanish. They can take the Jews with them, and a few thousand Amish. Till this land is free of minorities. This land's not your land, this land is my land, 'cause you weren't born a true blue American. I'm an ethnic purist who protects his borders. This land belongs to only me. There's been an invasion of the non-Caucasian, boatloads of Asian, and the black persuasion. Prevent the white man's erosion and save our nation. This land can thrive on bigotry. This land's not your land, this land is my land, 'cause you weren't born a true blue American. I'm an ethnic purist who protects his borders. This land belongs to only me.
Why is it every intern we get said is some fat behemoth?
I think it's Francesca's family they hired.
I mean, can we hire an intern here who's not a big lard ass? Jesus.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Maturing and growing.
Yes, he is. Young David Cohen maturing and growing from a boy to a young man, from just a kid to a young man. And that's what he is right now, a young man. And that reminds me of a song.
Mike, please don't sing.
Young man, there's a place you can go. I said, young man, right on the go there to the YMCA. They will start you back on your way. Come on.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
You say...
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting Station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. This is Bob Wischusen.
Bud Collins is here with a camera crew. He's covering this women's tennis tournament. Do you just travel all over all year?
Well, we've been traveling a lot.
Do you like it?
Yeah,
You
I
do
like
like
it,
it.
particularly since I've found Anita. We're a good She's a wonderful traveler.
I like her.
And she's a great packer. That's what you should look for in a walk.
There you go. All right, mopping and shopping. That's what we're really down to here.
No.
Wild and big, huh,
She's a
bud?
professional photographer.
You know,
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
so I heard Chris McEwen doing traffic on the radio station yesterday afternoon. I wondered if it was the same Chris McEwen who used to live with Francesca or go out with him or something, whatever. they
Same
were.
one.
Yeah.
So is she and Francesca still an item, or?
I don't think so. Last time I talked to her, I think they were just, casual and friendly and, and then she had to go into the hospital, have surgery on her eye, and she just came back and is on
She
the
got
air.
a good look at him.
Oh, stop.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Atlantic 9X Mobile Fan Highway Patrol.
Get off of my back, get off of my backyard.
You're a disgusting slug.
Get off of my back, get out of here.
I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Get up, you jerk.
It sounds like I'm getting jerked around here. Just get it straightened out.
Hey, you can throw a bitch.
Throw a bit, but there's still no way to hide, you know. The fact that you are not, you naughty, nasty, negative, nasty, trashy, no happy, pappy. Just Deidre makes you happy. Sitting on top, no strap, you got the troops to loot, but you be deaf in a jail suit. Sporty, naughty, hip-hop, the attitude you pick up, and what up, you big man? Big ham.
Bernie is such an idiot. So can I rely on him to do anything? Let me answer that for you. No.
Shut up, you jerk.
You are fired.
I can't deal with the wheel of the Southport heels, sucking up the Imus just to get my next meal. You're telling me I owe you, but ain't nobody told you. I just assumed told you. That's when I lifted my head with hope. With the wind I got no other competition named Joe.
Did you just call me a dope? You're getting hosed left and right, I mean. Yeah, you really are. I am. Let me try to explain something to you. She sucks. They all suck. And you suck.
You're chilling with the heavy mixing villain that is until the puny punks got the feeling. He got so many guts, you take me a harm for grandmother, jumper, take cover. Be laying in the gutter. Ain't no off if you're big enough for a really tough stuff. Big man, if you're tough, fuck her off. I'll kick your ass and laugh, then leave you by the trash. And then I'll take my cash and dash.
Please let me finish. Just let me do one story without you interrupting. He's scum and he's a creep.
I asked you for one story. You can't keep your mouth shut for one story.
Let me explain. Is your name on this program? The answer is no.
That's right. You're right, Iron Man. You're always right. Take a break. You broke. You smoke. You call your baby with a moo. Sooner or later, it's gonna hit. Watch your lung pop and the girl stop. Cause she got hip to all your ringling brothers. Get off of my back. Get off of my back. Get off of my back, yo. So now I'm out on the lam, cause this is what I am. You don't like it, you can jam it. You can bet on this shit. You didn't get it yet. What you see is what you get. Get off of my back, get off of my back, get off of my back, yo. Get off of my back, get off of my back, get off of my back, yo. Get off of my back, get off of my back, get off of my back, yo. Get off of my back, get off of my back.
The reason Bernard is here is because he's funny and smart. But other than that, there's just nothing else going on there.
Now, what the heck brought this on? We had a great weekend together in Southport, you and I.
No, we had no... I would shoot you. You would be shot if you... white trash like you shows up in Southport, you immediately... You're immediately are arrested.
Excuse me. Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
This is society over there. Peeing in the phone booth.
I peed in one...
You peed in more phone booths than we could count.
I peed in one phone booth.
The other times you were peeing in your pants.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Go, buddy.
Here now, Bernard McGurk as Maya Angelou.
How you doing? The Yankees freed you from chains. They gave the South a licking. Not so you could smoke crack, get bitches, and eat lots of chicken.
No.
Show some pride. Stop your whining and saying, oh, Paul, me. And shaking your booty to me so horny.
That will be fine.
You got a cigarette?
Well, you can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place. I belch real loud, maybe even fart, but I draw the line when you on the card. Hey, I'm a king of rock and roll here, son.
Oh, hi, Elvis.
What in God's name was that old boy from Greenwich, Connecticut thinking about the other day when he went and did a dookie on the United Airlines food card, huh?
Well?
Old Gerald Finneran, head of this TCW America's investment outfit.
Right.
Now, there's the guy, the king of rock and roll, wants handling his money, right, son? Market goes a little bit sour, and Jerry wigs and starts putting pigs in a blanket in the middle of the crudités tray. Kind of brings a new urgency to that safety thing about please extinguish all smoking materials. Huh? I worked out a little tune here to get my point over, and goes like this. Well, fasten your seatbelts, put out the smokes. The guy in first class been eating artichokes. I don't want to be crude, son, but el boomo, if you see what I'm saying. I knew investment banking was a real pressure line of work, so I guess we got to figure old Finneran just cracked, huh? Nice touch, though, you got to admit. I mean, when you really want to pack it in, hell, go out with a little flair, right? Jump up on the food service cart in first class, drop your doctors, and make the kind of statement that announces emphatically, I'm making a career change, and right now. I mean, you're 58 years old, got a decent Wall Street gig. At what point are you sitting there in seat 1F and suddenly decide, hey, I got a good idea. I'm going to climb on top of the food cart and take a dump. Man, I've done a lot of peculiar things, but like I said, making them impromptu menu editions at 33,000 feet ain't one of them. Maybe that there's what your Mayor Giuliani ought to have done the other night when he had one of his butt boys throw that rag-noggin nerd from Nablus out of the Beethoven concert. You know that Arafat fella? Yeah. If Giuliani had a pair, he would have just marched right over to him, dropped trowel, and laid a log in them linens on his head. Leave no room for no diplomatic doubt or any kind of sissy sensibility. You know what I'm saying, son? Yeah. Might not be too late. Do we know what flight he was on? Let me do my thing and back on out of here. Well, a loss of cabin pressure or a brown can low. A mask will drop down to help you cope. Don't need no friendly skies, poo pies. Give me a break, Jerry. No friendly skies, poo pies. Thank you very much.
You know I can't be found sitting home all alone. If you can't come around, at least please telephone. Don't be cruel. Too hard is true. Baby, if I made you mad for something I might have said, please don't forget my past. The future looks bright ahead. Don't be cruel. Too hard is true. I don't want no other love, baby. It's just you I'm thinking of. Imus in the morning.
Somewhat, I mean. Someone who was at that party, you know, where all those women were. Yeah. And we just couldn't come up with a name yesterday, and I got to thinking last night, but it's too late, obviously. Should have talked to her yesterday.
Someone who was rejected. Saying that he didn't want to say so, even though he was drunk out of his face.
I don't think that's a spin we want to put on this.
Yeah, the ferry will be along for you in a little while. No room in my car.
The following is a paid political announcement. Here now, the senior senator from the state of Massachusetts, the Honorable Edward M. Kennedy.
Yes, just tell her to use the code word Jiffy Lube, and I'll hop right down and let her in. Right, wild turkey.
Senator, you're on the air.
How's that? Yes, just fine. My fellow Bay Satyrs and my fellow Americans, you may have been wondering why I seem to have dropped off our planet. No longer have any impact. Have apparently ceded my position as de facto leader of the Democratic Party to Christopher Dodd, and seem to have abandoned anything even remotely resembling an active public service career. There are valid reasons. But basically, the nature of recent events have not seemed appropriate for vigorous commentary from my office. For example, would you have voted in favor of Whitewater hearings were you me? I don't think so. Paula Corbin-Jones would have come up, and some Christian coalitionist would have recalled for everybody that Bill Clinton was far from the only Democrat who had ever been caught in the proximity of a young lady with his pants around his ankles, or missing entirely, as has been the case with me on one occasion or another. No, given the startling ascendancy of my old friend Senator Dodd, I hardly need further negative attention. I can't turn around anymore without seeing the fat bastard pop up on television. Have I missed something? Does he have his own talk show? Chris from Connecticut, like Mark from Michigan or something? Jesus. I don't suppose I could get a drink over here, could I? Is it asking too much?
Senator.
All I know is that while I was becoming obese and irrelevant, Senator Dodd was becoming the general chairman of the Democratic Party. Some kind of respected permanent guest on everything from Meet the Press to The Price is Right. Given my luck, the unctuous geek will wind up sitting next to Dan Rather tomorrow night. If I may digress to make a personal comment to my friend Connie Chung. Connie, I know what ostracization is like. It's not fun. Perhaps we could get together at my place in Washington to review your options. But back to my initial theme, me. I'm asking for your help. To that end, let the word go forth from this time and place. A word that says one of the legends of American politics from one of America's legendary dynasties is f***ing dying here, for crying out loud. Before I completely vanish, I'd like just a little bit of input on how the hell to put Ted Kennedy back on the map. Short of flinging myself over the fence at the White House, like that Gordon Liddy listener did the other night. Although, if that's what it takes, believe me, I'd consider it. My friends, in this desperate hour, ask not what a Kennedy can do for you. Ask rather what you can do for a Kennedy.
The preceding was a paid political announcement from Project PRICK, People Reviving Invisible Candidate Kennedy. Address donations to Prick, Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you.
Say, things may be improving. Imus didn't play the car crash.
Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory
Copyright 1996, Infinity Broadcasting. Hey, you gonna eat that? All rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment. Thank you. Thank you very much. This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule. An indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled the station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume Monday morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, WFAN 2020 Sports.
It's 10 o'clock. Good morning. This is Mike Breen. Edges Montreal, 3-2. And that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
All right, here now on the Imus Morning program, one of the pioneer rock and roll disc jockeys in America, Scott Muni. Scotzo.
That was the Beatles. Baby, you're a rich man. How does it feel to be one of the beautiful people? Sitting next to me is a man who might not know what that feels like, but baby, he is a rich man, the millionaire eccentric Don Imus, who, despite his status as media icon and political pundit, is just one Olympic wrestler short of doing a John DuPont. You know, they say there's a fine line between genius and madness, and if that be the case, you're riding on a piece of dental floss, Fats. You could go over to the other side at any point. The more I read about this nutlog DuPont, the more I realize that you're just another seven-figure time bomb waiting to go off.
Shut up.
Matter of fact, you two have so much in common, it reminds me of those Abe Lincoln JFK charts that were so popular in the 60s. You're both in your mid-50s, both millionaires many times over, but where he inherited his fortune from a chemical company, you spent a fortune on chemicals. He's a wrestling fan, and so it was natural for him to provide the funds for the gymnasium that bears his name, and you're a hypochondriac, so it was only natural for you to raise the funds for the hospital that bears your name. I'm telling you, it's uncanny. DuPont married a woman many years his junior and became a major benefactor of Villanova University. You married a graduate of Villanova University, many years your junior, in a relationship where you're the major benefactor. He drove 2 Lincoln Continentals into a pond, and although you've never put your Jeep Cherokee into a fountain, you have peed in the odd phone booth. He liked to wrestle with the boys. You once kissed a man on the lips.
Shut up.
I just don't understand why no one tried to prevent the tragedy there at Foxcatcher Farm. Nobody thought there was a problem. Here's an old coot driving around in a tank and fatigues, wrestling with the house guests, collecting shells and watching birds. What more do you need? A signal flare to go up that spells potentially dangerous? If a regular guy walks around with cereal boxes on his feet singing show tunes, they put him away. But when rich people act like nuts, they're called eccentric and get profiled on the Today Show. We have to stop the madness now before things get out of hand and you end up chasing Brant through Southport in a Humvee. Before you start wandering around your penthouse in those cuckoo's nest pajamas, taking shots at the runners in the park. I don't want a call coming over the police band radio one day. Attention all cars, possible 917 in progress at Central Park West. Assault with a deadly weapon. Use caution. Suspect is a celebrity. But FD Apprehender, get Miss Hepburn's autograph for me, will you? I'm a big fan.
To Paula from Providence, I walk in, and there he sits. So what'd you say to him? I said,
Hello, darling. Nice to see you. It's been a long time. You're just as lovely as you used to be. How's your new love? Are you happy? Hope you're doing fine. Just to know it means so much to me. What's that, darling? How am I doing? Yes, I'm doing all right, except I can't sleep and I cry all night till dawn. What I'm trying to say is I love you and I miss you, and I'm so sorry that I did you wrong.
The late
Conway 20 here. Stupid. Just stupid. Here's Jerry from Long Drive.
Went on.
I think
Just some, just...
there's something else going on, sort of like cigarette smoking.
I love you. I love you. Anyhow. I don't care if you don't want me. I'm yours right now. I'll put a spell on you. Because you're mine. 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 In the morning.
You don't know.
Under it. Well, damn it, can somebody give me an idea what's going on here? You told me at the last damn possible second.
I gave you the L cue before.
I forgot it.
And I just told you again at the last second.
Well, I forgot it. I forgot it.
What?
Never mind what I said we were going to do before.
Say it, don't. What is that? Then you expect me to figure it out.
I'll come in there and grab you around your little neck.
Oh, you'll do nothing.
Oh, really? Oh, is that right? Imus, this ain't your mother's morning show. Well, I'm getting a punchline from Howard as I'm getting it. Stupid in there is telling me that's it. Well, that's what?
What should we have done?
I don't know. Write it on a piece of paper, bring it in here, have the intern bring it in here, and put it down in front of me because I can't remember it.
Senile.
I'm not senile, but I
senile.
New policy.
Who are you? Where are we?
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Let's sing happy birthday to Charlie.
Yeah,
You ready? Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. What the hell are you talking about? Stormtrooper.
That's stupid.
Jesus freak goof. I'll admit to that. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. If the question is what is Jeopardy, the answer might be what television game show is being boycotted by Maya Angelou, the poetess. Why is Ms. Angelou lobbying against Jeopardy? Because she says it's racist. It doesn't feature enough African-American contestants, man. In a PBS interview with David Frost, which will air tonight, incidentally, she says she has stopped watching Jeopardy because she never sees any black faces on it. What was she doing watching it in the first place? Why don't you figure out a way to make that stuff rhyme?
Should have watched the show in jail. She'd see a lot of.
Well,
So big.
that will be fine. She went on to explain that she herself is often featured as an answer to questions on Jeopardy, but she says she'll not see any black people on the program giving a response. Jeopardy producer George Vosberg responded to Ms. Angelou's criticism by saying, quote, "We would love to have more members of minority groups on. Unfortunately, we've been disappointed by the numbers of such individuals who have chosen to apply to become contestants."
There's no affirmative action on Jeopardy, you dopey old...
That will be... Now, wait a minute. Bernard, where does this come... Where's all this anger coming from? Yeah, really. Now, just relax out there.
I would like to take the NBA for $200, Alex. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not going to take the NBA for $200.
I would
Shut
like
up.
menthol cigarettes for $300, money. Black sitcoms for $5.
Fred, do not laugh at Bernard. It just encourages him. So, please continue. Hi, Mr. Morning here with the once and future heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson. Don't do that.
Hi, Mr. Chump.
How are you, champ?
I'm a little depressed.
Why?
I have a problem.
What is it?
I like to dress in a masculine manner, go to bars, act tough. I'm sexually attracted to women. I think I may be a lesbian. I don't want to be a lesbian, Mr. Chump.
Shut up.
I'll have to march in the parade. I don't want to march in the parade. If I can't get my own parade, I don't want to march in one with a bunch of lesbians.
Fine.
Can you believe they didn't want to give me a parade?
No.
Harlem, that is, not the lesbians. Here I am, a local boy who made good, did bad, now trying to do good to make up for being bad. And this lady from African Americans Against Violence say it's an insult to those struggling to transform their community. Hey, lady, I done my time, okay? I paid my debt to society. You have no idea. I was convicted of rape and spent 3 years hard time in detention with a bunch of criminals who look at every other inmate as a new orifice. So believe me, my punishment more than fit my crime. You against violence? Then don't order my pay-per-view on August 19th because I will get violent with Peter McNeely. After the first round, he gonna wish he could spend 3 years hard time with a bunch of criminals who look at every other inmate as a new orifice, rather than go back out in the ring with me.
Yeah.
I wanted a parade, Mr. Chump. I wanted marching bands and the Rockettes and the underdog balloon and Santa Claus at the end. I'm the closest thing to a hero these kids in Harlem got, Mr. Chump. Even Rodney King got a parade.
Pardon me?
Okay, it wasn't exactly an organized thing, but there was a whole bunch of people running down the street. But it's not about parades, Mr. Chump. It's about the Mike Tyson charitable program. I'm creating a structure that allows me to give back to my community at a time when it greatly needs support, and also to allow me to somehow get non-profit organization status to filter some of this cash money that's going to start rolling in pretty soon. There will be scholarships awarded to African-American women, which is an attempt on my part to make reparation for my unfortunate transgressions with that portion of the community, and because they're the most discriminated against minority when it comes to standardized tests that tend to have a white bias to them. Therefore, academic achievement will not be a prerequisite. Scholarships will be awarded to young African-American females based upon their community service and breast size. So if you a sister who know how to serve her community and you got a nice pair of titties, I'll give you money. Extra stipends for big bunkies.
All right, here now, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson, and the champ is back.
Well, I went away, and nobody really cared how I felt. But while I was in solitary, I couldn't believe who they got to wear the belt. Mike Tyson's back, and there's gonna be trouble. Hey, la, Mike Tyson. Oh, your heavyweights are gonna start to see double. Hey, la, Mike Tyson's back. I was forced into a title abdication. Hey, la, Mike Tyson's back. Due to my unfortunate incarceration. Hey, la, Mike Tyson's back. I'm ignoring all the critics, and I'm going after Riddick. What made him think that he knew how to fight? Ow, ow. When I get done with him, he will wish that he was white. Ow, wait and see. Mike Tyson's back, and he's taking his division. Hey, la, Mike Tyson. Gonna knock them all out, ain't gonna be no split decision. Hey, la, Mike Tyson's back. I could push him over using just my little pinky. Hey, la, Mike Tyson. And if that don't work, I'll punch him in there, Mr. Dinky. Hey, la, Mike Tyson's back. Yeah, Mike Tyson's back. Yeah, I'm back now. Mike Tyson's back.
Is she really going out with him? Well, there she is. Let's ask her. Betty, is that Jimmy's ring you're wearing? Mm-hmm. Gee, it must be great riding with him. Is he picking you up after school today? By the way, where'd you meet him?
I met him at the candy store. Turned around and smiled at me. You get the picture?
Yes, we see.
That's when I fell for Imus in the morning.
Hillary in the jail by November.
Yeah. Then she can have a first, second, and third lady, too. Funk that. Question. Why is it that every time I'm walking down the street, I must want to stop me just to ask me if I saw him on Letterman? Come on, man. Funk that. Get out of my way. Question. Why is it that every time I walk into the bank, the tellers look at me like I'm the one who didn't send them their Auto Body Express t-shirt yet? Come on, man. Funk that. What are you looking at?
You.
Call Fred.
1-800-272-1957.
Question. Why is it that every time I turn on the radio, I hear Imus play the same Delbert McClinton and Kinky Friedman songs 15 times a day for 3 years? Man, funk that. Get a new CD.
Yeah, shut up.
Question. Why is it that Imus asks me for money when I ain't got none? What is that, in thing or something? Let me remind this dude he ain't got no money and I'm making $5 million a year, huh? Man, funk that. Get a real job. You know,
Every time I see my neighbor, he tells me how boring Imus is. And then look at me like I'm the one who interviewing Jeff Greenfield and Anna Quinley. Come on, man. Funk that. What are you listening to?
The police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. And not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. That cause I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge and a gun to be beaten on. And thrown in jail, we can go toe to toe in the middle of a cell. With me cause I'm a teenager with a little bit of gold and a pager. Searching my car, looking for the product. Thinking every nigga is selling narcotics. Imus in the morning.
And then when this OJ trial's over with,
Yeah.
we're going to be watching the Whitewater trial.
That will be fine. I'm in the morning here with Blind Mississippi White Boy P.P. Dupree. Almost my favorite blues singer except for Delbert.
Yeah?
You know, first of all, we ought to clear this up. You're not blind. That's the first thing.
Well, no, I'm legally blind.
Well, no, you're not even legally blind. You're farsighted.
Yeah, but I could get a dog at a discount if I went far.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean... So why do you call yourself blind, now?
Everybody got to have a blues name. Why you call yourself Imus?
Well, I mean, that's my name. It doesn't suggest...
Well, blind is my name.
But it suggests a condition.
Nah, it suggests that I'm a blues singer. Because I can be far-sighted Mississippi P.P. Dupree, can I?
Oh, that would sound stupid.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, so...
Kind of like Imus sounds stupid.
So what's on your mind?
I ain't happy with this new administration, boy. First, he done put them Sis and Mary in the army.
Yeah.
Now he talking about taxing my cigarettes.
Right.
I don't know why it gotta cost me an extra $1 tax for a pack of fags when there's pack of fags in the military ain't being taxed for what they smoking.
Oh, shut up.
See what I'm saying?
Sort of.
I tell you, I know they bad for me. Ain't doing me no damn good. When they get to $80 a pack, I'm just gonna up and quit.
Right.
But I got the blues. Because them cigarettes was cheaper when I was in jail. And it's a law, you sing the blues, you gotta smoke. But now it's a law, if you smoke, you gotta sing a blues.
Well, let's hear this one.
Clinton got a health plan, but he ran into a little snag. He need $100 million, so he dipping into the Marlboro Man saddlebag. Ain't no buts about it, it's gonna be a drag and take a drag. Cause if you be puffing, you be stuffing another $1 in the till. Less you submitting, you be quitting, but somehow I don't think you will. So why not cut out the middleman? You might as well just smoke that $1 bill. Bubba say if you let me tax your habit, we'll have national health at last. But let me tell you, people, for a guy who didn't inhale, he blowing a whole lot of smoke up my ass. Now Virginia Slim is crying, 'cause she heard my woeful tale. If you're gonna have a nicotine fit, better wait till there's a sale. But if you wanna hang with Joe the Camel, gotta be coughing it up for a coffin nail. Excuse me while I light this up.
Blind Mississippi White Boy P.P.
I'm smoking.
On the Imus in the morning program.
Hey, Bubba, smoke this.
The bars are all closed. Beat away.
It's a noise. Please, you are not happy. Just fill up again and keep them coming. Don't you know who I am? Imus in the morning. Are you one of my daughters? No, okay, great.
Lou Ruffino doing the Imus this morning.
What are you talking about?
One of the most exciting games yesterday in the NFL, Chiefs overtime.
Station for New York Knicks basketball.
Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Hope you're digging out on a snowy Saturday morning in New York. Good to have you with us as we talked about the world of sports next 3 hours or so. at 718-937-6666. 2A Sports Talk telephone number with Mike Hayes and Stevie Cohen across the way. Chat with you as we get started. Coley Campbell amongst your spots, Rangers in Colorado. That later. And it goes to show you that once again, teams with buys get to the championship game, get to the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh and Dallas. Good, well done, Mike Hayes and Stevie Cohen. Deb Kaufman coming up. I'll see you Monday. Out one with Mike. Have a good weekend. Adios.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN.
A special return for a special player. Good morning, Mike Brain with Sports. Magic nearly had a triple-double in just 27 minutes of action.
Of course, everybody get out of his way.
I mean, who's going to guard him? Come on.
Hey, Magic, right over there. There you go.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Islanders beat Buffalo in overtime, and the New Jersey Devils, led by head coach Jacques Lemaire.
Monsieur. HIV on my ass.
That'll be fine.
Imus in the morning on the Fan. Sports Radio 66. WFAN, New York.
WFAN New York, an Infinity broadcasting station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock. This is Bob Wischusen.
On Nightline Friday night.
Sorry, I missed a trick.
Imus in the morning. In your shorts, 2020 Sports.
This place has erupted. The Nuggets have handed the Chicago Bulls only their fourth loss of the year. 105-99. How do you like that?
Chicago Bulls finally lose. Good morning. Mike Brain with Sports. Drew Goodman with the call. At McNichols Arena in Denver, Nuggets slapped the Bulls around 105-99, ending their winning streak at 18. Bulls trailed by 31 points in the second quarter, came back and took the lead in the fourth, but they were obviously too tired. And the Nuggets.
Jordan scored 22, I believe, in the third.
22 of his 39. And as many expected, turmoil has erupted now that they face some adversity. Center Bill Wennington said the Bulls are not playing well.
That's the plain truth. We stink.
Coach Phil Jackson vowed changes and threatened to bench some guys if certain things didn't turn around quick enough.
You really are a moron. How about your Knicks getting blown
Meanwhile,
out?
the Knicks gave their fans quite a ride recently, but all good winning streaks must come to an end eventually.
Nice of John Starks to help him out there.
The next streak ending yesterday in Indianapolis, 90-83 loss to the Pacers. Starks kicked a chair, also kicked the press table, got a flagrant foul and a technical foul.
Right.
But he's an emotional player.
Big 6-point turnaround there for the Pacers.
Yeah.
They were ahead anyway, so.
And it's an emotional game.
And Reggie stuck it right in their face, didn't he? My man, Reggie.
Yeah, that's right.
Our man, Reggie.
I hate you.
Why? Our guy, Reggie.
Reggie Miller, the Nick Killer.
That's exactly right. Reggie Miller, the Nick Killer.
In Los Angeles,